What would you do if the person responsible for a horrific crime was still out there, walking free, while families and an entire nation demanded justice? That's the chilling reality unfolding right now. A community is in shock, a high-profile figure is mourning, and a dangerous killer is still at large. The recent university shooting has left people not only devastated, but also demanding answers, because this story isn't over yet. The tragic incident centers around conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who is now reeling with both grief and anger after the shocking shooting that rocked a university campus. According to reports, the shooter remains unidentified and uncaptured, sparking fear and outrage across the country. The situation has become more than just a criminal case. It's turned into a political and emotional firestorm. Charlie Kirk, a strong voice in American politics and the founder of Turning Point USA, is known for speaking out on national issues, but this time, the tragedy hit far too close to home. The shooting has deeply shaken him, leaving him filled with raw emotion. Kirk has openly expressed his grief, but just as strongly, he has expressed his anger. Anger at the system, anger at the ongoing violence, and anger that a killer is still roaming free. For him, this isn't just another headline. It's a deeply personal wound that reflects the larger crisis America faces with campus safety and violence. The details of the shooting itself are horrifying. A university campus, a place meant for education and growth, was suddenly turned into a crime scene filled with chaos and panic. Students who should have been attending classes and preparing for their future instead found themselves running for their lives, hiding behind desks, or frantically texting their loved ones that they were safe. The aftermath was scenes of crying families, emergency responders rushing in, and unanswered questions that still hang heavy in the air. One of the most unsettling parts of this story is that the shooter is still at large. Authorities are working around the clock, but the lack of an arrest has left people unsettled and fearful. Students wonder if it's even safe to return to campus. Parents are terrified for their children's safety, and the public is demanding accountability, both from law enforcement and from leaders who they feel aren't doing enough to prevent such tragedies. For Charlie Kirk, this tragedy isn't just about loss. It's about demanding action. In his emotional statements, he has highlighted the failures that allowed such violence to unfold and has called for justice, not only for the victims, but also for the entire community. His words reflect the frustration of many who feel like they are stuck in a cycle of violence, with no real solutions in sight. The story has taken on a national spotlight, not only because of Kirk's profile, but also because it represents a much bigger problem: the growing sense of vulnerability across America's schools and universities. How many times have we seen headlines like this? How many families have to go through the same unimaginable grief before something changes? This incident is now a symbol of that larger, heartbreaking pattern. The grief is real, the anger is real, and until the killer is brought to justice, the fear is also very real. Communities across the country are watching closely, waiting for updates, and hoping the authorities will finally close in on the suspect responsible for shattering so many lives. In the end, this story is more than just about one man's heartbreak. It's about a nation asking itself difficult questions. How do we keep our campuses safe? How do we hold people accountable? And how do we stop the next tragedy before it happens? As Charlie Kirk mourns, as families grieve, and as a nation demands answers, one haunting fact remains: the killer is still out there. And until justice is served, the story is far from over.